Leslie. I'm one of the registered dietitians here at Schneck Medical Center, and we are live at our Bariatric Support Group, and we probably got 50 people here tonight, which is awesome. We're going to do 2 recipes tonight, and if you're into meal planning at all, we're going to kind of do them at the same time, so that'll kind of show you how to multitask, and you can freeze these recipes. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'll post the recipes online for everybody that's on Facebook. First recipe is a cheesesteak skillet. So it's basically a Philly cheesesteak, but without the bread. And so we've got some cooking spray. You can use olive oil or canola oil if you'd like. And we've got some peppers that we've already cut up. And then half of onion. Is what the recipe calls for, but I thought that we had onion here, and I'd already been to the store, and then I got to the kitchen and they didn't have any except for red onion, and I wasn't sure if that would work very well in this recipe. So I've just got dehydrated onion. I added just a little bit of water like 20 minutes ago and just kind of rehydrated them. So you can always substitute anything in these recipes if you'd like. We're gonna let the heat go a little bit on this just to kind of get the peppers and onions going. And then we have 1 pound of lean ground beef. So this is ground chuck. You can use ground chicken, ground turkey, ground round, whatever you want. This was on sale at JC today, so this I got the ground chuck. It's going to be 1 pound of that. We've got our bell pepper and our half an onion, and then I have 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce in this, and we've already got it measured. And then we've got some seasoning. So I don't know if you can smell the onion and the green pepper yet, but go ahead and get our ground beef going. And I like using an electric skillet because it's big and it's easy to stir things, but you can feel free to do it on the stovetop at home. I'm going to break up our ground beef here a little bit. And since we don't have a kitchen, we'll see how much grease comes off of this because I don't have a colander or a sink here, so I've got some paper towels that will get any extra grease that we have. Okay, and then the recipe called for 1 packet of Italian seasoning, and I was in a hurry. I think it's the little packets that you can make Italian dressing. I had this Italian seasoning at home, so I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that on there just as a substitute, but you can feel free to buy the packets as well. Put Worcestershire in there. Give this another good stir. If you go on Pinterest or online, there's a lot of skillet meals out there, so I would encourage you to Google that. There's a lot of good ones out there, and it's just your meat and vegetables, and it's all in one skillet, so it's super easy. And most of them are pretty low carb, which is what we look for after surgery. And a lot of people struggle with trying to cook for themselves after surgery and cook for families. So a lot of these recipes your family can eat too. Maybe they'll eat a little more at the meal or have an extra side or 2 at the meal. But you can definitely adapt what you're eating and what your family's eating. Okay, so we're going to let this just keep doing its thing. And we're going to start on our second recipe. And this is the cilantro chicken burgers. And I went ahead and kind of prepped it ahead of time. So I'll just kind of talk you through part of it. I've got 1 pound of ground chicken, and this is in the meat department, just like your ground beef. It's next to the ground turkey. Ground chicken's a little weird to some people because some people don't even know that it exists, but it's right next to the ground turkey. It looks pretty much the exact same. It's Purdue brand is what I bought. Sometimes they're out of the ground chicken because I have had that problem when I tried to do a demo and I just substitute the ground turkey. They pretty much taste about the same when you're cooking it. You can make this recipe with ground beef if you wanted to, or ground chuck. I just wanted to kind of throw something in that was new that maybe you haven't tried. But you can definitely make the burger however you want. I've got the cilantro already chopped up. That's the most tedious, hardest part of the recipe. The rest of it is super easy. But I just kind of snip off all the little leaves and chop them up. I was kind of kicking myself because I have herb scissors that I bought off of Amazon. They're specifically to cut fresh herbs, and it's so much easier than trying to chop them. But I forgot it today, so I may have to bring it for another demo so you can see what it looks like. But I think it's got like 4 blades right next to each other, but it has scissor handles, and then you just chop, chop, chop. It's super easy. So if you do a lot of fresh herbs, it's worth investing in. So this recipe, we have half a cup of chopped cilantro, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of black pepper. It says 2 teaspoons of lime juice. I just took half a lime and juiced it. And then 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. So that's a little bit of a different flavor, and if some people don't like the ginger, so you could go easier on it or just leave it out if you wanted to. So I basically just took my hands and kind of mixed all of that together. And then what we're going to do is just kind of patty it up. And I included the websites I got these recipes on because they have a lot more recipes out there that you can go to and get more ideas. And this website in particular did recommend that you can double or triple this and then freeze the patties. So that would be really nice to do, and then just have the stockpile ready to go. And it shows it has directions on how to do that, to freeze them. So stir that up a little bit. Since it's going to be kind of messy, we're going to get some bloods on here. Any questions on anything so far? Yes?
Any idea the calories or carb content?
I didn't calculate that, but it's not going to be that much because we don't have a ton of carbs in any of this. So your protein might be 200, 180 for 2 ounces of it. So we're going to do little patties. You can weigh these out with your scale, and I'd probably weigh out like 3 ounces, and then it'll cook down to 2 ounces, and then that would be about right for after surgery. So we'll kind of make these small so they'll cook a little bit faster for a demo, but you could make them a little bit bigger if you wanted to. They actually are holding together pretty well. So we'll get a couple of these going, and then looks like our cheesesteak is needing some stirring here. And then I have half a cup of shredded cheese to go on top of it to melt when it gets done. So that's 2 pretty quick meals that we've made in 10 minutes. All right, well, I'll post the recipes in the comments after our group meeting. And I think that's all, so I'll say bye to the Facebook crowd. Thanks for joining us. close to being done. We'll go ahead and patty these up so we can use sample spoon in there. Since Sherry's not here tonight, if anybody is pre-op and they have their little paper that they need me to sign, I'll do that at the end. And don't forget to sign in so that you get credit that you were here. Has anybody ever used the ground chicken before? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have a few hands that have gone up. I've made meatballs with it before, and it turns out pretty good. I'm trying to think. I think I've done chili, and I've also done half chicken and half turkey in a recipe before, just because they didn't have 2 pounds worth of chicken. It's pretty similar to the turkey, but yes, they're asking about if it's lower in fat than the beef. Yes, for sure. The weird thing for me with cooking with the chicken and the turkey ground is I want it to get dark like the beef, and it doesn't. It's just going to turn white when it's done. So that is kind of weird. Now, if you're making, like I've done taco meat, and you put taco seasoning in it, then you got the cumin and the chili powder, and it kind of turns it brown. But like a recipe like this, it's going to be like a white burger, which seems weird at first if you haven't used it before. Okay, let's flip our first couple burgers here. And I forgot my meat thermometer, but I do like to use it, especially for ground meat, because if you're going to have some foodborne illness, that's usually where it's going to come from. But I think we're going to get these pretty done here. And the smaller ones we'll let go for a little bit. Okay, so we don't have a ton of grease. I'm going to take a few paper towels here and pull a little bit of this grease off, and then put some cheese on this. It definitely smells like a Philly cheesesteak. So after surgery, your family can put this on bread if they want it.
Right?
Do you normally try your recipes before you share them with us?
Sometimes these I did not, but they look pretty foolproof to me.
It sure smells amazing.
And I always feel like if you can get onion and pepper or cilantro, those types of things really make things fragrant. They also give you color to the meal too. So that is a big thing besides flavor. Okay, we'll get our cheese on this. And this is actually Monterey Jack cheese because I just assumed they'd have mozzarella cheese, and then I got here and they were out, so made that little substitute today too. I try to steal out of the kitchen most of the time because I don't know, like half of an onion. I didn't want to buy an onion and then half of it. So I bought the meat at the store and the lime and the cilantro, and I just thought, oh, onion, pepper, they're gonna have it, which they usually do, but it was just my luck today that they did it.
So what kind of cheese is it?
Well, depending on what kind that you're talking about. So, like a shredded cheese, you can get hard skim mozzarella, so then it's a lower fat. The string cheese is a lower fat cheese. Something like cottage cheese, you want to get the low fat because the whole, it's the same protein amount no matter which kind, but if you can choose lower fat, your calorie intake overall is going to be lower. While I'm waiting for these to get done, I'm going to put another handout, and this is, I didn't make as many copies, so I would like for just the pre-op patients to take this. But I know that the holidays are coming up, and I know several of you that are my patients, I know you're having surgery here in a couple of weeks because I just got the schedule. And so this is holidays on soft foods. So if you're going to be on the soft food phase come Thanksgiving or Christmas, I'd like for you to pick this up because it has a little recipe for appetizer, your turkey, sweet potatoes, and then a little pumpkin dessert. So I thought I would share that with everybody that is going to be on soft foods during that time. So I'll have that up here. And did everybody get the recipes from the demo? Okay. All right, our first batch is done. Since we've got such a huge group, I'm going to try to cut everything little so we all get a bite. Everybody's so quiet. Does anybody have questions for me or questions for previous patients? Because I know we got some veterans in the room too. When can you have shrimp? Is the question.
Yes.
That's a good question.
5 weeks out of day and I want each shrimp.
Okay. I would say on even soft foods is probably okay, but solid for sure. If it's like cocktail shrimp,
Right.
is that what you mean? Or the little mini ones, but not breaded ones. Okay. Yep, you could try them. Any other questions? No?
I don't know if you can answer it or not, but
Okay.
I'm gonna try. I started losing the weight because I have to lose 40 pounds, okay? I
Okay.
lost 17 pounds of that. Well, I got put on prednisone and I gained it all back. So my little brother went and bought me 2 bottles of lipozene. Can I take those? I'm still in the early stages. I've got 4 months to go yet.
I really don't know that much about what's in that.
You wouldn't?
The lipozene, and I don't know what other medications you're taking, so I would probably call and talk to Sherry or Kathy or talk to a pharmacist maybe. I'm not a big fan of that over-the-counter stuff because the FDA doesn't regulate it, so you have no idea what's in it. And I don't know who your dietitian is.
Monica.
Okay. And if you got 4 months, you've still got time.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Any vitamin questions? Okay, go ahead.
Is the ground turkey and the ground chicken about equal in protein and, or is
Yes.
one better than the other?
They would be totally equal.
Okay.
Yep.
I do have a question about vitamins.
Yes.
Okay, I was taking the ones from Dr. Cooper's office. I no longer take those. They make me really, really nauseous every time I take them.
Is it the capsules or the chewable?
The capsules.
Okay.
What other vitamins can I get? I was about Flintstone vitamins to.
I hold you over, okay.
Yeah, I like to figure out.
Do you have an appointment coming up at all?
On the 24th,
Okay.
my 6 weeks.
Cause we have some samples of some other brands, if you wanna try those. Usually what I say is if you don't tolerate the capsules, then try chewables. They also have some, it's basically like a big Crystal Light packet, and it's a multivitamin serving, and you put it in water. That's another option. But some of them have iron, some have don't, so it's like, it depends on kind of what you pick, what else you need to take with it. And Pat, is anybody on the fusion vitamins? Okay, we got a couple of people. Is a 4 chewables a day option. I have samples of that too, and Sherry has them, but those might be what I would try out first. The other thing is, do you take it with food or without food?
I've been eating them after my breakfast.
Okay. Because usually if you're taking on an empty stomach, sometimes that's what's causing it, and then I would have you try that, but you've already tried
Yeah.
with food, so that's okay. Do you take your omeprazole before? Okay. Good.
Actually, I take it at night now. Dr. Huber's responds to it at night.
Okay. But you've still got it in your system when you're taking it, so that's good.
You think it's the smell of those vitamins? Because those things stink really bad.
Yes, I do. I don't know if it.
It
I'm
could
2 years
be.
out and I'm almost used to it now.
I was doing fine with it, then one day I just, yeah, no.
What kind is she talking about?
She was talking about the bariatric capsules, making her sick, and I've had several people that happens.
I take them, they don't bother me.
And other people, it's fine. And some people start out with chewables and they can't take, and it's just, you can't predict it. You just have to start with one and then try it out. But luckily we got samples that you can kind of try before you buy. Like the Flintstones are good, but just long term I do worry about them. So if you're taking that in the interim time, I think that's fine. Hey, Mommy. Okay, and now I'm thinking I should have doubled this recipe so we can get more samples out of it. Yeah, we got an awesome crowd. So what I'll probably do is have patients come through first, and then if we have some left, then your support person can come through and try.